If ever I had a video, would you dance in it? Would you dance in it, in it? Oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in. Oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in. They said that you loved me all along.
Laughlin. In fact, that island is now known as Goat Island. The goats were placed there in order to keep $500,000 vessel was built over a period of 1 year, from April of 91 to April of 92. It was designed and built by Hills Marine out of Seal Beach, California, who also built aircraft for Disney. This vessel is 65 feet. So the Riverside maintains the area and has paid until a remodel the 28-year-old launch facility. In 1992, the American Legion Post number 16 dedicated an avenue of flags in honor to all those who have served our country honorably. The Blue Pedestrian Bridge is also part of the trail system, the Colorado River Heritage Greenway Park and Trails Pro 2012. The project consists of 9 miles of trails in the Laughlin area for bicyclists, pedestrians, and equestrian riders, and includes development manager, the late Bernie Ozzy Osborne, dealt with more than 30 government agencies over a period of 4 years to get this much-needed project approved. After all that red tape, it only took 4 months to build the bridge for thousands of people. The other being the Rio Grande, which borders the United States and Mexico. This 1,450-mile-long river runs through parts of 7 U.S. states and 2 Mexican states, contractors in Arizona, Nevada, and California. The lower Colorado region observes the rights and obligations established under the existing compilation of laws, compacts, agreements, legal settlements, and treaty grounds, which all comprise what's known as the law of the river. The LCR seeks creative ways to meet the changing and contemporary needs of the Colorado River Basin. As demands for Colorado River water continue to rise, the development and control of the river continues to create controversy. The Colorado River is considered among the most fought-over, controlled, and litigated rivers in the world. Every drop of its water fully allocated, whether it be in the form of hydroelectricity, domestic use, or irrigation. One way they have to keep track of the river is with gauging stations. These stations are located at strategic spots all along the river. They bring special instruments out over the river, drop them down into the water, and can tell you to the gallon how much water they have going downstream at that point. They can also tell you if there are contaminants. So if you decide to dump anything in this river or taking any water out, you've got another thing coming, as you will get caught. The LCR keeps a very close eye on this river. This river is said to move 4 cubic miles of sand and sediment every 100 years, and over the hundreds and hundreds of years, they contribute the boat. Reclamation from 1914 to 1932, and was one of a small group of men, along with Herbert Hoover, foresight to start the Colorado River Development Project, the Mexican Water Treaty of 1940. What we see is what we get, and not what we're supposed to have. The only water received from the dam is what they release for hydroelectricity, or what it takes to run the generators. According to the Bureau of Reclamation, it takes 1 unit of water to operate 1 generator. They classify 1 unit of water anywhere between 4,600 and 6,200 cubic feet per second. They like to run these generators at 3/4 operating capacity, which is 5,000 cubic feet per second. We determine the raising or lowering of the river takes 1 unit of water, 5,000 cubic feet per second, which is about 18 inches. Davis Dam is located 67 miles downstream from Hoover Dam, located 88 miles upstream from Parker Dam, 72 miles upstream from the famous London Bridge in Lake Havasu City, and 19 miles upstream from the California-Nevada-Arizona border. These are the headwaters of Lake Havasu. As you look at Davis Dam, you may not think it looks too spectacular, as it's only 200 feet high. However, what is spectacular is that it is the only earth and rock-filled dam on the Colorado River. According to our longtime resident, Homer Francher, they built 5 wooden bridges across this river in order to haul material back and forth to the workers. The contract for construction on the dam and its associated structures was awarded in June of 1942. However, due to World War II, work was halted by the War Production Board in October of 1942 when they revoked priority ratings needed to obtain materials. 1953, with 5 generators on the line supplying hydroelectricity to the southwest. Davis Dam was the first post-war project the government started back with. In the late 1930s, 1938 to be exact, the Bureau of Reclamation and the Utah Construction Company started working on Davis Dam. At that time, the engineers, foremen, and the laborers all lived in army barracks on both sides of the river. Davis Camp was originally known as Camp Alexander, from the Laughlin Bridge all the way up to Davis Dam. Ladies and gentlemen, due to the crisis in the world today since September 11th, 2001, this is as far upstream as we may go. Fishing is really good up here, especially during the summer months. Striped bass and rainbow trout, especially trout, don't like the warm waters of Lake Havasu, where the temperature at the London Bridge gets up to almost bath water of 80 degrees. So they come up here where the water is considerably cooler. Thousands of tourists also flock here annually to enjoy the sunshine, the 100+ degree temperatures, and the cool, clear water. And I do mean cool, as the water off the bottom of Lake Mojave coming out of Davis Dam never gets warm, never exceeds 53 degrees. The reservoir formed by the dam is Lake Mojave. Lake Mojave is only about 4 miles across at its widest point, but it is a year-round recreational area and a natural habitat for fish and wildlife. Up on Lake Mojave on the Arizona side is a lakeside resort known as Catherine's Landing. Catherine's Landing got its name from the mines that operated from the early 1900s through 1942. They have a motel, restaurant, campgrounds, mooring facilities, boat repair, boat supply, boat rental, and boat storage. They rent houseboats, jet boats, ski boats, and fishing boats. In 1909, a man from Germany discovered gold 5 miles north of where Davis Dam is located today, and he named the mines in honor of his sister Catherine. For those of you who might be interested, or if you remember Louis L'Amour and his father used to work at Catherine's mines. at least. In 1991, Don Laughlin was inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame. In fall of 1993, purchased the Crystal Corporation for $27 billion. It's a $23 million profit in 8 years. Real estate. The Regency, a little casino just this side of the Edgewater Tower, was the 5th casino to be built in Laughlin. It opened in 1978. They have no hotel or boat service, but it is the only other privately owned casino in Laughlin other than the Riverside Resort. The Edgewater was built in 1979. It initially ran into licensing difficulties when the Nevada Gaming Control Board raised concerns about alleged connections between some partners in the ownership group and members of the Detroit crime family. The rest of the group was forced to buy out their shares. In 1983, Circus bought it and added a 450-room hotel on the west side and added a racing sports book on the south. They also built this 26-story tower in January 2019. Now, the Mario Ferry share gaming for $190 million. If you look at the top of the Edgewater, you'll notice a balcony. They built a suite up there for Mrs. Lafferty, but I'm going to save the rest of Mrs. Lafferty's story for you for the trip back upstream. In 1983, Circus bought a small casino located next to the Regency, where the Edgewater Tower is located. They bought all the properties south of the Edgewater toward that small casino town in the Showboat of Laughlin. They opened in July 1987, 5 restaurants and 1,256 rooms, and they had their money back in 3 years. Sadly, the Showboat of Laughlin closed its doors in March of 2020 during the pandemic and hasn't reopened. It remains closed indefinitely at this time with no real word of what its future holds. They didn't have boats its size over here on the Colorado River. The first steamboat on the Colorado River was the Uncle Sam. The Uncle Sam launched in the Pioneer, opened in 1977 as the Colorado Club, was the 4th casino to be ventured on. It is known for its neon cigarette company, Riverwalk. Riverwalk is the name of the neon sign that resembles a cowboy and was erected at the Pioneer Hotel and Gambling Hall in 1981. He's also referred to as Laughlin, although the hotel itself calls him Riverwalk. When Margaret Ilardi, owner of the Pioneer Club in Las Vegas, bought the Pioneer Club Laughlin in 1980, she commissioned the Riverwalk neon sign to be built, which was almost an exact copy of Vegas Big at the Pioneer Club in Las Vegas at a cost of $1.5 million. It closed for refurbishment and changed hands in 2018. Reopening is the new Pioneer of Brilliant's House on the River. It is owned by the new Pioneer LLC. The Golden Nugget opened in 1966 as the Bobcat. It was the second casino to be built in Laughlin. The Whittington family named it in 1969, Bertie Lott bought it and changed the name to the Nevada Club. In 1988, the Steve Wynn Corporation, which owned the Mirage in Las Vegas, along with the $40 million for that piece of property, changed the name to the Golden Nugget. In December of 1992, they completed those 2 first towers, giving themselves an additional 3 years. Golden Nugget is owned and operated by the Landry Corporation. This casino is formerly the Scenic of Riverwalk and Riverwalk. They have around 70,000 square feet. The casino was originally built in the Summersville vein, representing the cool mining days in California. In July 2014, Tropicana sold the homes to the owners of the Dodgers, who changed the name to formation that is now located at the settlers coming across the country. Laughlin is the first casino to take advantage of the new island. They opened their first tower in August 2015. 60 rooms. Before the grand opening ceremony was over, they announced their Scenic. 500. They completed their new tower of 19 stories. It has 456 rooms and suites. They had their grand opening. They have housing development that needs to go offices. They call the development which is where the word Mojave comes from. Mojave culture traces the earthly origins of very mountains. Mojave people were well established and had trade networks as far away as the Pacific Ocean. In 1859, the United States military outpost was established on the East Bay to give scenic passage to American immigrants traveling through. The camp was called Fort Mojave. Once the military fort closed in 1891, those buildings were operated as schools for Native Americans. It was operated from 1890 until 1930. Ruins of Fort Mojave are a relationship between Mojave and American civilization. The ruins are located at a bluff overlooking the Colorado River, just south of the boundary of present-day Bullhead City. In March 1864, William H. Hardy came over and he started a ferry boat across the river. He built a chemical store, livery stable, and a post office. This was as far up the river as traffic came. There were boats that came up the river farther, but they only got as far as Bull's Head Rock, and they knew it wasn't very far upstream before the rapids began. They strategically placed ring bolts in the canyon walls, which they used to pull themselves up through the rapids, and it's known today as Ring Bolt Canyon. William Hardy was also the self-appointed postmaster, with mailbags coming through constantly needing repair. The thread was always coming out of them due to the rough ride and the weather. William Hardy got tired of sewing the mailbags back together. Structure of Bullhead Dam. He was nicknamed Bullhead. Temperature is between 50 and 60 degrees. We're at 510 feet elevation above sea level. You have to climb over 3,000 feet in either direction to get out of this valley. Whether it be the Black Mountains in Arizona to our right or the Newberry Mountain Range in Nevada to our left, we do get to see snow once in a while on these mountains in the winter months, but it attracts millions of visitors. Visit Laughlin to gamble, enjoy water sports over Colorado, and attend top entertainers and high-profile special events hosted by the destination. Epic proportions. Down Laughlin's Riverside Resort Hotel and Casino. Today, the Riverside's workforce numbers almost 2,000 employees.